The next topic is 5th grade flexing. Do you have any suggestions for exercise groundwork? I've done preschool through 4th grade and I'm not yet medicated.
Or that you can't ride your horse, long the answer for everything outside of that. That's how you're going to advance your horse in riding without riding.
And with this particular challenge, we're not going in depth with the long lining, but if you go into the Horse Help Challenge live replays and you look at the challenge that we did in 2020, there's a video on there where we cover long lining where you can kind of get a little bit more in depth into that, as well as liberty training, intro to trick training. He is a booger today. He just wants to be in all the attention. But that's where you can go and watch some of those videos going forward. Miss Sandy says, I have a question about tying. How do you train them to tie when they pull back and lunge forward several times? We're using the MG halter. We have this cute little wall over here, and it's flat. So whenever you do this and you teach tie, you want to use something good footing, put them in a position to where if they do lunge forward, they can't get a foot hung, they can't do anything stupid to themselves, and set them up for success that way.
Well, and the biggest thing too is we live in a very...
You said somebody pick an exercise.
Well, we live in a very soft time, and nobody wants to pressure the kids or pressure the dog or pressure their husband. When you tie a horse with an MG halter and a lead rope to a flat wall and good footing, it's your job to stay there relaxed. So when that horse is doing whatever it's doing, it's literally arguing with a wall. If there's a person, all of you have a friend that would argue with the wall, you don't argue with them. It's for no reason.
You are definitely failing kindergarten.
It's for no reason. So when they're having that argument, you just sit back. You're just a supervisor at that point. The wall is the trainer at that point, and it's their job to figure it out on their own. And so many times they don't figure it out because human beings intervene and they go to save them when there's nothing to be saved. They're still having that conversation. So let them have that conversation. You did everything you can. You put them on a nice, safe place. You tied them up with things that won't break to give them a bad habit. You put them in good footing so they don't get scraped up. So that's going to make them a lot easier.
Shirley, we actually have a video with the benefits of tie time that is in the beginning of the Start Here series for the Horse Help Challenge, and the pawing is going to go away with time and practice. So a lot of people think that they can just tie for 1 or 2 days and that tie time is going to fix all of the pawing issues. Some horses it might fix in 1 day, some horses it might fix in 3 weeks, some horses may be tied every single day for 2 months for it to finally break. So we have a video on there that talks about that a lot. What kind of discipline has Rocket been doing lately, including his training and liberty?
Smile training and liberty.
He's like, I just want to be involved. Poor Rocket is for sale if anybody wants a Rocky Mountain Percheron cross. Our little Rocky Ron that's not so little. Okay.
He smiles.
That's what he's looking for, is cookies. When flexing Casino, sometimes he will drop his head and only give me his nose. Is the stiffness, pain, or resistance? He mostly does it to the right side, but has done it both.
He drops his head and gives me his nose.
Is only giving his nose and not giving his neck for flexing.
Only gives me his nose.
When you're doing flexing at a standstill.
So does that mean he breaks from the pole?
Yeah, I'm reading you the question.
The horse can scratch his...
That's what you're looking for. Flexing from the ground.
Flexing from the ground. Mm-hmm. So when I'm flexing that horse...
Stay as close as possible and talk as loud as possible, please.
When I'm flexing that horse, I want that horse to be able to bend all the way around here and release. And it just shouldn't be a big deal. So I keep touching and touching and touching, and when he gives there, I release. So there he's giving his nose, but he's also bringing his head around, and I'm trying to bring it all the way around to my stirrup if I want. So if that horse isn't giving you enough, just keep asking. Just keep bumping, 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 bumping until that horse looks for the right answer. And if that horse isn't looking for the right answer, increase the pressure until he looks for the right answer. So much of training is know if your horse is trying or not. And so much frustration that I hear from you guys is that your horses just aren't trying. And it's just because the lack of experience, we don't realize when our horse is or isn't trying. We think that we're doing the exercise right, and you may be doing the exercise perfect, but you're not doing it to the level that makes your specific horse try.
How do I know if my horse gives the pressure? How do I figure out if my horse gives the pressure?
Very quickly.
Tie them.
Tie them, they should stand tight. Pull on the reins, their head should come with you. Pull the reins towards their butt should move. Pull their face towards their shoulder should move. Spook them, ah! Do they drag you? If the answer is no, then they give the pressure.
That was rude.
If you scare the bejesus out of them and you let them go fast and ask them to change directions, then you do it softly and easily without pulling on you, your horse gives the pressure.
I want to work on flexing with a mini from the ground. Should I be behind him, working the lines like in the video, beside him, or in the front? We're in the early stages of learning how to drive.
How to drive?
Yes.
Behind him, and you want to try to keep those lines low so it doesn't come over his butt. I like to have those rings as low as possible. So if my lines are coming through, I want them coming through.
When you're doing long lining.
When I'm long lining and I'm looking at that horse to flex, I want to have my stirrups tied up underneath, or if you have a stir single and the rings are on top, flip the stir single upside down so the rings are at the bottom. That's going to allow your outside line to be down behind that mini's butt. So now when you're flexing, it can't flip around on you. If the rings are up here, that mini's going to flip around because they're so quick and now they're facing you and you don't have any leverage.
Flexing in motion seems to be a struggle with Gene. Every time I go to flex on the right, he raises his head.
Pick up a right turn and touch and release and pull and release and pull and release and pull and release until he looks to drop his head after one of those releases, and that's where the releases start getting longer and longer until he wants to keep his head down. If you ever have an issue flexing in motion, which means simply turning the steering wheel as you're going forward, what I want you to do is, instead of half-assing two things, whole-ass one thing, and get that horse just given to one side, to one side, to one side, because every time you pass over from one side to the other, they get strong again. So pick on one side until it softens, and then you can go to the other side.
Tig is very good at flexing at a standstill, except she tends to want to nip at my stirrup. Maybe I should try to keep her head a bit more. I have not had much luck flexing in motion. I did read someone's comment the other day that they thought they were flexing too far. They had heard MG said that you should start to see their eye. I would like to confirm that I must have missed it. So right now we're just talking about flexing at a standstill. Flexing and emotion is later.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's the
What are
question?
you looking for? How far of a flex are you looking for here at a standstill?
At a standstill, I want to see that their head comes all the way around to my leg. Because the very next thing is I want to get that horse moving his butt. After I get his head, button number two that I'm going to get is I'm going to get his face to pass by my leg and move their butt. So first stage is I want to get them flexing all the way around to here, because the next step is I'm going to get them coming all the way here and get their butt moving. So when the first thing flexing I want to see if they can flex all the way to my leg.
What do you do if they nip your stirrup?
If they nip my stirrup, pull them past my leg.
Okay, cool. Flexing with or without all the redneck objects in the round pen, what's your opinion?
Obstacles and variables shouldn't matter. So if you've done all the work from the ground, when I colt start a horse that's never been ridden, all the stuff is still in there on session one, and I'm already flexing that horse. The key is to make sure that horse is giving you its undivided attention. If it makes you uncomfortable and you can't focus because all that stuff is in there, then take it out. But I want to see that that horse can flex or back or bend. If the horse can't flex with that stuff in the arena or the round pen, they're not going to stop for you on the trail when they get uncomfortable. Flexing is simply your steering wheel. The horse being able to do this is simply you turning your steering wheel in your vehicle. If you can't do this because there's a plastic bag on the ground over there, if you come around the trail and somebody left a plastic bag, you won't be able to turn your vehicle and you're going around the mountain. And if you're going around the mountain and you can't turn, what's going to happen is you're going to go straight and the mountain goes around and you're going to go off the mountain. So it's all about not only being able to get that horse to flex and give you its face, but to be able to give its face whenever it's uncomfortable. So me personally, what I like to see, my professional opinion is I want to see them flexing with anything in the round pen in the arena. Other horses, things going on, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. This is the time to have those conversations. This is the time to really get that horse paying attention to you.
How far of a flex do you consider passing? we are working with a Mustang that is very stiff-necked, primarily to the right. What do you suggest to soften her? Just more time flexing? The flexing video was very helpful. I have trained using constant contact with good results, but was wondering more about your pulsating technique.
So absolutely. So if that horse is stuck, pick one side and work on that side. So instead of holding and them laying against you, you have constant contact where you hold, they give, you give. Good, awesome. The other side of the road, you have another trainer that they pulsate, which means I bump, 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 bump. They give, I give. Do you know what I use? Whatever works on the horse that you have. So if he's muling up and lay on you, I'm going to touch, touch, touch. Notice, watch these knots. When I start pulling on him, he's a draft. So as I started working with him, he wanted to lay on things because that's what his bloodline tells him to do. That's what his brain tells him to do. So when he would lay on me, I went in constant contact because he would pull me. So what I would do is pulsate. Look how those knots run across his nose. Very quickly, he wants to give his face. So if I have a Mustang that's stiff neck, I sure don't want to be going anywhere if I don't have a steering wheel. So I'm just going to start picking until he starts giving. And that pulsating, basically you're saying, okay, buddy, that's fine. You're stronger than me. Leave your head there if you want to. But I'm going to start creating friction, and it's going to get uncomfortable. I want to be comfortable. You look at my foot, I'll let you go.
You also want them to be able to flex one time to each direction without moving their feet, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you do if they move their feet?
Keep flexing. So everybody's so quick to start flexing, the horse moves his feet, and then they stop flexing. Well, you just told that horse, every time you move your feet, I'll stop flexing you. Just keep flexing, just keep flexing, just keep flexing. If you're looking at the horse and you're not adding legs and you're not kicking or adding energy, if you just keep flexing back and forth, left and right, softer and easier, they're going to find out, even if they're the hottest horse in the world, they're going to find out that it's easier just to give their face than to move their feet. So just keep flexing, just keep working on that steering wheel.